And hello all of my fellow nerds out there, this is Oracle Nerd Richie and welcome to a game called Lake of Voices. So, this is a game that, you guys probably remember GB Patch, right? You don't know, you probably don't, if you don't remember who they are, they're the same people who created games such as Our Life, Now and Forever, and Our Life with Beginning and Always. Yeah, same people who made those games made this one. And I've never played this one before. I saw it on their itch.io page, and I thought it'd be very interesting to play because it seems so unlike the other two. Like the other two are just life sim games of sorts, where everyone changes based on your decisions, based on what you do. This one seems vastly different from the other two. This one seems like it has a different kind of story to it. And I thought it'd be interesting if we go through this story. And also, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this title screen itself alone can make a really good thumbnail. But anyways, behind the scenes out of the way, let's get started. Choices. You'll need to make various decisions throughout the Lake of Voices. That actually rhymed. Here are a few details to keep in mind. Certain choices are timed. Time running out isn't something to completely avoid. In some cases, not getting involved can open new possibilities. Other choices aren't timed. These options only determine whether Kikka has any special affection for another character or not. So I'm guessing Kikka is the main character. If you survive until the second night, the story will branch off into one of 5 different plot lines based on your earlier decisions. The other characters cannot manage all situations in previous plot lines, regardless of what you do. If a character isn't making it, try getting a plot with a different set of survivors, or having the same group of characters venture through some other storyline. Becoming closer with someone can add or remove future choice options and change how some scenes play out. Your decision to build that connection may not go unnoticed by the other characters. Earning a full amount of affection with certain characters can require getting into specific plot lines. The page up key returns the previous or next choice. T key opens full text history. Okay, page up and T, got it. My grip on the lantern tightens as the fog around us thickens, while the forests in the area are relatively safe compared to Sinnlos. I can't help but feel my hair stand on end the further we get in. My free hand fingers the hilt of my sword, something akin to a nervous reflex.
Have you seen it before?
Wait, there's voice acting in this? Oh shit, okay. Dude, I like this already! Mel breaks the silence, either sensing my unease or assuaging his own. I hope it's the latter.
I haven't. I've had no reason to go near this cursed lake until now. What of you?
Ooh, okay, I like their voices already. Their voices are really cool already. I love this. Bemelle scratches his chin casually, as though he asked who his favorite food is.
I traveled a long way around it once before. Not so pleasant. Something about it just frays your nerves. Although, even being near it is enough.
So I'm not the only one who feels it. A sense of relief hits me, but not enough to undo the buzzing of anxiety. The lake, Sinnlos, most try their best to avoid it all their lives. The hundreds who die attempting to cross the unearthly black water, dragged to death by creatures lurking within, aren't a secret.
No wonder you were assigned this mission.
There are a few who had first-hand experience with this place, even if from a distance. He'll probably keep being picked whenever they need someone to cross, for however long he's with us. Bemelle shrugs, bringing my attention back to the dark path before us.
At least we're taking the bridge this time. It'll only take 2 days instead of double that, and the sooner this place is behind us, the better.
It would be preferable not to risk it. But time is of the essence. We don't really have a choice.
One of our allied villages, Hammer, is being harassed by brigaders, a band of ruffians. We don't have many guards to send on as an assist, only Bemelle and myself. The least we can do is arrive before we are too late to be of any use. These kinds of squabbles happen often, but have to be put down lest they turn into a blood grudge or all-out war. The last we heard, neither option was that far
I
off.
can also see why they chose you to come out here.
I glanced at Bemelle, an eyebrow raised. A slight smile plays across his lips.
You're always so calm and so serious. Nothing can get to you. You're the best choice they had.
A smile now tugs at my own lips. I would like to thank him, but that wouldn't be so calm and serious as he just described. And if that's how he sees me, I'd like to keep it that way. My lack of reaction only makes his smile grow. He chuckles a bit before refocusing on the path. I do the same. It wouldn't be right to let my guard down in a place like this. Bemelle appears to feel differently, however.
You know the town on the other side of the lake, though. It's not so similar to ours. If all goes well, perhaps we'll have enough time to enjoy the new area.
For the most part, I ignore him, nodding when applicable. Bemelle is a talkative sort, and if chatting keeps his worries down and his sword hand ready, I have no complaints. After a time, the thick fog surrounding us begins to clear. A slick wooden dock comes into view, and with it the sounds of water gently lapping at its sides. Bemelle shifts beside me, stretching his lantern arm as far as it will go. He seems tense.
Someone's already here.
Oh! A young woman stands by the dock, eyeing us warily. Does she intend to cross tonight? Evidently, she has the same question. As we step next to her, it's clear she isn't simply passing by. She's waiting. The stranger nods curtly to us.
Margaret.
Kikka the Steadfast.
The Steadfast? Okay. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I have no fucking clue what steadfast means. Resolutely or dutifully firm and unwavering. Oh, that makes sense.
Bemelle. Hello?
Oh, it's Bemelle. I thought it was Bemelle. There's a stuffy silence. Margaret turns to gaze out across the lake, expression unclear, but not much to say. Bemelle and I do the same. Oh, I heard that. From here, the black surface of the lake looks disarmingly calm. Wind rushes across its surface, a sound like whispering. So perhaps it actually is whispering? I concentrate trying to place the difference, searching for breaks to rhythm. After a few seconds, I feel foolish. It doesn't matter what the noise is. Whether I hear them or not, we're not alone. The Nixi are out there. Oh, I know what Nixi are. They're like the fae spirits that lure men over with their voices and then drag them into the ocean to kill. I think it's usually to kill them. I don't really know. I don't really know what they do, but that's not my business. Anywho, feeling that I can't quite shake tells me they've already noticed a little group of people on their shores. It feels hostile. My stomach sinks, and I instead address Bemelle.
Where is the guide?
Unless he's on the center island, or on the complete other side, your guess is as good as mine. It's dark as pitch out there.
Panic rises inside me. Panic I try hard to quell.
We can't cross without him, and we need to get going soon.
You can't cross with him either.
The woman behind us, Margaret, cuts in with something like a snort.
What?
I know the guide will be here tonight. I have already made arrangements with him to cross.
Bemelle and I share a look. The woman seems haughty, and and willing to put up a fuss.
I have his word he'll take me today. It would be wiser for the two of you to begin the trip around if you're really in such a hurry. Or you can make camp here and wait for him to make the trip back if you prefer.
I don't need to turn my attention to Bemelle to know he's riled up. I step in before he can say something rash.
Even if that is so, my companion and I must begin the trip tonight.
Margaret is unimpressed and opens her mouth to argue further.
We'll wait for the guide to arrive before coming to a conclusion about any of this.
She clamps her mouth shut, then lets out a sigh.
You can do as you like.
With the matter tentatively settled, Bemelle moves away. His fingers begin to tap loudly against the top of his hilt. He shifts from one foot to another, then groans.
What's that bastard even up to?
I almost visibly start, but manage to restrain myself. He probably doesn't know any better, I'm sure of that. It's not worth mentioning.
With a mouth like that, you shouldn't even have the right to ask the guide to take you across.
How ludicrous. He's faced far worse than a bit of foul language.
Do you know anything that's happened with this lake?
I know enough.
Margaret is clearly not convinced, but she shrugs and makes a show of turning her back to him.
The guide's father is Garvin the Exemplar. Garvin never accepted the guide as his son, all the way up until he died in this lake. Your statement could be seen as tasteless.
Oh.
Bemelle rubs the back of his neck, his face regretful.
My apologies to the guide. I didn't mean it that way. I never knew about his... well, that.
A smile spreads across my face. One I quickly wipe away. He really did just misspeak. The silence slowly stretches between the three of us, growing more awkward with each passing second. Margaret seems irritated and Bemelle abashed. Oh. Oh wait, when I hover over an option, it's going. That's so cool. Okay. First save of the playthrough. I'm assuming my character knows quite a lot of Bemelle, so I'm sure you're. Honestly, I mean, we just met Margaret, so I'm sure you're forgiven, Bemelle.
I know you. You are brash but not intentionally cruel. I'm sure all is well.
Bemelle smiles and clasps me on the back.
You're a good woman, Kikka. Smart, too. You've never been here, yet you knew more of the guy than I did.
I know about Garvin, truthfully. Tales of his deeds were some of the only stories my parents ever told.
Is that so? You could tell me more about it sometime.
Pause, unsure of how to respond to this type of request.
I would like that very much.
Yes, I wouldn't mind that. It must wait until after this trip, though.
Of course. We should drop this topic sooner rather than later, in any case.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I can't really hear their voices too well. I'm gonna turn the music down a little bit. Yeah, I want to be able to actually hear their voices.
I agree.
Even if there's no harm meant, hearing someone mention Garvin is probably difficult for the guide, no matter what the circumstance. With the topic dropped, we each remain locked inside our own thoughts, not another word passing between us. Eventually, a small light appears on the bridge ahead, gently swaying through the foggy air. It gets closer and closer, until it becomes apparent that the figure is carrying a lantern. That must be the guide, although I can't shake a ghostly aura it gives off. The figure steps into the shore, but we wait for him to approach us instead of going to meet him. None of us are sure how close to the waters we can get before it's no longer safe. Oh! You look pretty cool. He stops in front of us and simply stares.
Are you the guide of Sinnlos?
The man nods. He has a sharp face and wary eyes.
Well, that's grand. We would like an escort across the lake.
Bemelle motions to the two of us, and Margaret approaches, a strange smile on her face.
Hello, it's good to see you again. I'm ready to cross, as we've agreed upon.
The guide turns to face her as well, face remaining unchanged. It must not be a lie. He would have had to say something otherwise. She really does have a preference to travel with him. That's a problem.
Is there a way we can all begin the trip tonight?
Yes, I will allow all three of you to go. But with that many, at least one will die before we reach the other side.
I kind of like his voice too. It gives me a very stoic impression, at least for me. I furrow my brow in a disturbing addendum and one offered with little emotion attached. Bemelle glares back, asking without asking what we're supposed to do with such circumstances.
You should go around.
The sentence hangs in the air, the second half unspoken, if you want to live.
We don't have time for that. There are people counting on us for protection. Why does she need to go?
He jerks a finger at Margaret, whose face contorts with anger.
I don't need to explain myself to you. My journey has already been put off once, and I was promised I could go today. I will be going under any circumstances.
She meets Bemelle's eyes with a gaze of steel. He starts to speak, but she cuts in.
An extra day or two shouldn't be that much of a problem for you. Whoever you're meeting can surely wait such a tiny amount longer. Patience is a virtue, after all.
The night is only so long, and if we're still on the bridges when the sun comes up, we'll all die as they sink back below the surface. If you don't decide soon, no one will be going.
The guide is dispassionate. Stoic. Wait, I'm sorry, did the game hear me? Did the game just hear me? Because I just said he was stoic a minute ago. Bro, I swear to you guys, I have never played this game before. This is the first time that I'm playing this, and I wasn't expecting it to freaking echo what I just said. Dude, the devs know me too well. I swear to God, they know me way too well. And you guys want to know a fun fact, though? This game came out in 2018. Years before. This came out in 2018. Probably like when I started doing my videos on my channel. And I swear to God, I did not know that the game was going to describe the guy as stoic. I just said he was stoic 2 minutes ago. I would almost feel something's wrong with him if I didn't share the trait myself. Bemelle pulls me to the side, jaw clenched tight.
That woman isn't armed.
His voice is low. He darts a glance at Margaret.
We can easily get her to back off if we make this into an actual fight. After all, we have to go tonight, yes? If one of us really is to die, it'll be her. Would staying be a worse fate than her death?
Hell yes! Well, technically, yes, it would still be bad. We're not gonna kill her off. I stare at the dock, refusing to meet Bemelle's eyes, and try to keep my voice as level as possible.
We don't know her situation. This isn't a decision we can make for her.
What?
Bemelle leans in closer, apparently having missed what I said. I remove the sympathy for her in my response when I speak again.
The guide won't accept something like that, I assume.
His face is grim.
Then what else do you have in mind?
First of all, you and I cannot split up. Either we both stay, or we both go.
Right. That's not a question.
I cross my arms, a hand in my chin. I have a full confidence in my abilities, and in Bemelle's, but there's no reason not to believe the guy knows exactly what he's talking about. If we go, he might not be able to give the group the attention we deserve. That would mean that we truly would be putting Margaret's life at risk on top of our own. Oh shit, say nothing. The guide approaches Bemelle and me before I have time to sort out my thoughts.
You will stay.
What?
You would have already decided to come if you had the proper mindset for a journey such as this. You two will stay.
Ah, shit. Wait. That was the first time of it. I didn't know the timer was gonna go that quickly. Dude! That's barely fair. That's like hardly fair.
But you don't understand.
The guide raises a hand to me, ice cold. My words die in my throat. If he decides we aren't fit to cross, how could we persuade him otherwise?
This is bullshit! We are more than equipped to make this journey, and we know more of what it means to be in danger than most will know in all their life.
You two will stay.
Bemelle's muscles tense, and I put a hand on his arm. He trembles slightly beneath my fingers, his hands curling themselves into fists, but he doesn't say another word. The guide turns around and heads into the bridge. Margaret uncomfortably looks from the guide to us.
Goodbye.
Then she steps onto the bridge after him. Bemelle sighs, the anger releasing from him as they disappear into the fog.
Farewell.
Be safe. We reached Hemmer safely, though it took much longer than we would have liked. Much of the village had been damaged or even destroyed. It was my fault for taking so long. I did all I could to aid them in defending their town and repairing what could be salvaged. Bemelle was disheartened by how little assistance we were able to provide. However, we could not deny how fortunate we were to have both made it at all, especially after we caught wind of the report given by the guide to the elders for that night. Every village close enough to Sinnlos gets informed of what occurs in the lake. He does so because communities wish to be made aware of what if they have lost one of their own. This time his news was the death of a young woman. The one we spoke to, Margaret, is gone. I have not heard nor seen the guide myself since then. I must assume he is still there in that foggy shore waiting for desperate souls to seek out his light so that they may cross the lake of true darkness. Although I regret I was not able to... Wait, is this an ending? Although I regret I was not able to do more to protect these people, no one admonishes me for it. They seem sure that I did everything possible. I hope that is true even if I cannot bring myself to believe it. Bemelle and I return home and we will once again see the long way around. I think this is a bad ending, guys. Wait, that's it? Damn it. Okay, hold up. I believe we should go.
And I believe you.
Bemelle's reply is firm. My steadfastness seems almost weak in comparison to its certainty. He addresses the guide.
We shouldn't waste more time. Let's shove off.
The guide slowly turns around. Without even a nod to show his agreement, Margaret stares at Bemelle and me, something of a resolve in her gaze. Then she follows after the guide. At least she didn't insist we stay behind.
We should do what we can to protect her. It's our fault she's being put in even further danger.
Exactly my thoughts. We will take care of everything. Maybe I'm being naive, but I have no intentions of letting anyone fall victim to this lake tonight. Those monsters can starve.
I smile at him for a change, and Bemelle eagerly smiles back.
We're lucky to have each other in this, I think.
He turns to follow the others across. I will protect everyone on this trip. I will. We will make it through this. Then I step onto the dock and join them. As soon as I step into the wood, the temperature drops. The light of my lamp shines against the water's surface, as reflective as a mirror, until we reach land again. Death is only one small mistake away. We fall into line, with the guide leading the way. Margaret stays close to him, and I behind her, watching to make sure she doesn't slip on the slick, wet wood. Bemelle brings brings up the rear. Each of us hold our lanterns in front of us, but it does little good. The fog is thick and nigh impenetrable, consuming the light as if hungry for it. Above the surface of the lake, it's deathly quiet. No longer is there the whispering wind, nor the sound of water lapping against the shore. It's just our own mismatched footsteps, and the sound of my quickened breathing. My eyes drift back to the lake, against my better judgment. It's no wonder there's not even the sound of water. With how still the surface is, it seems almost sturdy, with the sheen of black marble floor. I've heard rumors the water of Sinnlos is heavier, more difficult to disturb than natural water. That just the weight of its oppressive cling is enough to keep someone down, even without them. Something even darker than the abyss. Then the abyss of the lake flickers just below the surface, or at least I think it does. I turn my gaze back to Margaret's back. It's better to stay focused.
Fall back a bit. You're following me too closely.
The guy is looking over his shoulder, addressing Margaret.
I'm sorry.
If someone gets pulled into the lake, they'll instinctively reach for anything to hold on to. Do not let that be you.
Margaret's shoulders rise, and she nods with great seriousness.
I understand. Thank you for the advice.
He ignores her gratitude.
You can speak amongst yourselves if you so choose, as long as you pay attention to where you're going. There is no worth in listening to the sounds out there. If there's anything at all, it'll only be Nixi trying to set you on edge.
All right. Then, could you tell us your name? You didn't have a chance to properly introduce yourself, and I've only heard you being referred to as the guide.
I don't have a name.
Huh? He's facing the front again. His voice as expressionless as before. I have no way of guessing how he feels as he says this.
Oh.
It's probably something he wishes to not talk about. However, there was something else I want to say, so changing the subject is difficult.
Margaret, thank you for allowing us to join you.
Margaret shrugs non-committally.
It wasn't exactly up to me. The guide said he would take you.
She hesitates, and then she looks looks tentatively over her shoulder at me.
But thank you for saying that. It's appreciated.
Bemelle and I will do our best to be an asset on this trip, rather than a burden.
That's nice. I'm not afraid to be out here, though. Still, at least with your training, you should be able to take care of yourselves.
It's comforting to know that everyone here is so confident in their abilities, not enough to forget how terrible it feels to be over this lake. I am not sure if that is fortunate or unfortunate. Believing yourself to be secure doesn't mean you are. As the conversation lulls, a new sound breaks through. It's a whispering noise again. It's a chatter of inhuman voices, this time coming from all around us.
Taking care of yourself is exactly what you need to do.
The guide is speaking again, except louder, as if to cover the Nixi's voices over with its own.
Work to survive at all costs, and hope that everyone around you has enough sense to do the same. That's the only way you'll make it to the other side.
Margaret nods in response, but I hear a grunt from behind me.
Groups tend to go further when they work together to achieve the same goal.
The guide doesn't say anything in response to Bemelle's grumbling earlier, either. I'm not sure whether he didn't hear Bemelle or whether he just didn't feel the statements made thus far are worthy of addressing. I have a feeling it's the latter. We go around the large bend in the bridge, part of it forking off the other way. I wonder how the guide knows which one of these essentially identical paths is correct. When something in the corner of my eye catches my
I
attention.
believe I saw something over there.
Keep walking. No need to worry.
The guide's voice is calm and level. I decide against pressing the issue, not wanting to set everyone even more on edge.
What did he say?
Perhaps not wanting the conversation to be caught by the guide, he speaks softly, though I couldn't quite hear him because of it. Oh, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that thing behind him? Dude! Come around! It's so fucking creepy! What is that? I take my eyes off Margaret ahead for a moment to explain to Bemelle and stop dead in my tracks. Only one word could escape my stunned state.
Behind.
Behind Bemelle stands another figure, looming in the dark. Seeing my face, Bemelle grabs the hilt of his sword. He whips around and staggers swiftly backwards. Several meters away, a crooked, twisted black figure hobbles its way towards us. Some kind of liquid drips from its head, curling around the edges of its face. It almost looks like it's crying. Bemelle backs up as he's standing beside me. The figure continues to slow advance, head jerking from one angle to another.
What on earth?
It's one of them.
Yes, Nixi that stumble across the bridges looking for opportunities.
I thought Nixi. Wait. Okay, so wait. I know Nixi's depictions are different between the different cultures and stuff, but I recall Nixi not having legs. Cause like you guys seen what she looked like in the Sandman, right? Like when we played it on my channel before, like she didn't have any legs. She just had a very long tail. Like you're telling me Nixi can have legs? Since when? The guide is standing next to us. I didn't even notice him approach.
The ones that can make it out of the water are generally referred to as prowlers.
Huh.
I had no idea things like that were out here. Is that what Kikka saw down the other path?
The guide says nothing, and instead returning to the front of the party. Margaret watches him pass. Her frustration morphs into nervous optimism when something seems to come into her mind.
Well, Nixi aren't slowed down much by swords, but at least the light keeps them away, right?
Margaret's hand grips her face tight, and desperation bleeds into her voice. I bite the inside of my lip.
Direct light will force it to return to the lake. However, it'll try to drag the light, or you, down with it before it goes.
Instinctively, I reach for the hilt of my sword, despite the fact that it would do little to protect me. The prowler is getting closer, jerking forward, stopping, then resuming its slow advance.
Okay. Does anyone have a light we can leave here? That way it won't follow us.
Only matches.
Bemelle spits. He's the one bringing up the rear, so he's the one most likely to be in danger if he keeps following. The guide, however, moves forward.
Don't forget it's there, don't let your guard down, and don't get left behind.
What? How am I supposed to keep walking with this thing at my heels? You said it wants to attack.
Don't give it the chance.
Don't give it a chance. Yeah, I agree with the guy. Don't give it a chance then if you're so afraid. Bemelle sputters in anger. The guide similarly ignores him. I solidly grab a hold of Bemelle's arm.
Here, I'll lead you like this, and you can keep your focus solely on the prowler. Make sure it doesn't get too close.
Makes sense. Bemelle's Bemelle eyes the guy with unresolved hostility, but allows himself to softly sigh in relief. He gazes at me with fondness.
At least there's someone I can count on.
Despite the fact that I'm going against his advice, the guide says nothing more. It's clear now that he doesn't give a damn what we end up doing. Some part of me is glad for that. I want to help everyone make it through, and it would be worse to have to persuade the guide every time help was necessary.
Kikka, thank you.
Bemelle places a gentle hand on my shoulder. Oh. Okay, not sure this choice will matter, but... Oh, I right-clicked again. Not seriously. Bemelle's face hardens in return. He moves his free arm down. I fully link his arm with mine, and now properly settled, I look forward. Margaret is following the guide with some reluctance, turning back every so often to check on us. I wave my lantern to signal we're catching up. Margaret turns her head to the front and quickens her pace. With a tug on Bemelle, we start to follow them. But the four of us continue cautiously over the edge. Only this time, wet, squishing footsteps of the prowler join the sound of our own. In spite of myself, I grip Bemelle tighter. The prowler walks without a set pattern, sometimes fast and sometimes slow. It takes long steps, then short ones. At times, it stops walking entirely. Does it hurt to be out of the water like this? Or is it trying to be difficult to read? Suddenly, the whispering in the lake grows louder. I steel myself, trying to not let it get to me. The most important thing in a situation like this is to remain calm. I can't lose my head. And then, all at once, I notice the guide and Margaret have come to a halt.
Bemelle, they're stopping.
Bemelle slows down as I do. As we near Margaret's back, she says something akin to distress.
There's another one.
You're kidding. I tug on Bemelle and he understands. We draw closer to Margaret, ready to protect her if need be. But the guide holds out a hand.
Don't get any closer.
Just over his shoulder, I see another prowler stumbling towards us, white liquid dripping from its eyes. The guide's hand turns over in the air, palm up.
Give me a lantern. We'll throw it.
Throw it? I'm sorry, we're gonna throw a lantern? You're kidding, right? The dock could catch on fire. You realize this, right? Margaret extends her own with a trembling hand when Bemelle speaks instead, his back still turned.
If you have to take someone's, take mine.
Yes, an extra light won't do us much good when we're standing this close together.
Margaret takes Bemelle's lantern from him. Guarded relief displays on her features.
Thank you.
She hands the lantern to the guide, whose hand gripped it tightly, knuckles growing pale.
Stay here. I can't throw it too far, or the light will blow out before it reaches the Nix.
Ooh. Oh my god, wait, I didn't even notice its legs are backwards. That's creepy. That's so creepy. Ugh, no. Nope, I hate that. He steps closer to the monster, his movements light and confident. As he nears, the prowler starts to back away. It is only the approaching light that's making it retreat or is it only the approaching light that's making it retreat? Or are they afraid of him? The guide is far enough away from us that the fog partially obscuring him, hiding his movements and voices from the lake grow louder and louder. Water suddenly begins to splash across the lake in the distance onto the edges of the bridge. They want him to mess up. I don't notice how tense I am until Bemelle eases my grasp on his arm. Then suddenly, the guide takes multiple long and fast strides forward, throws the lantern, and jumps backwards to regain the lost distance. There's a sharp hiss, and then the deep splash, and the voices of the Nixi grow quieter, not silent, but quieter. A sigh escapes me, and the guy comes back to our group.
We should keep going, before it comes back.
I glance at Bemelle and realizes he, too, is looking unrelieved at the guide. Is looking relieved at the guide before us. And then I see it. Ugh! The first prowler is still there. It's right there. Pull Bemelle forward. I shift around, pulling Bemelle behind me. The Prowler lunges after him, barely missing Bemelle, but striking my lantern instead. The fire goes out, and the two of us are plunged into an unearthly darkness. Then there's a slick splash, realizing that the Nix had returned to the water. Somehow, Bemelle and I are still standing. We're still here.
Kikka, thank you.
I can't respond. Something cold, wet, and slimy grabbed my ankle. Oh god, kick it off. I kick my leg out as fast as I can, and Nix hold slips. I can't pull with the moment. It can't pull with the momentum. I've gained against it. Margaret rushes to my side, her lantern hanging out towards the Nix. The light brushes its face. We see it for an instant, its eyes wide, and then it slides back into the smooth surface of the water. Oh my god, wait, did we survive? Oh god, please tell me we survived. I don't want to have to go back. Bemelle grabs Morgan and I both, helping us towards the center of the bridge, and cussing under his breath.
I only looked away for 1 second.
It's fine, Bemelle. We're all fine.
Are you actually alright?
Margaret cocks her head down, examining my ankle, but there's nothing but a wet smudge around my trousers.
I am fine.
I say that, though I don't actually want to let go of Bemelle. I need to, in order to relight our lantern and provide us actual safety. But I need but I feel such a strong desire not to be alone in this moment. I shake my head roughly and let go of him, relighting the lantern as fast as I'm able.
Kikka, thank you. Again. You saved my life. I won't let this happen again.
Yes. Yes. It would be good for all of us to pay more attention.
Margaret nods solemnly. Suddenly, it seems like we're all on the same side. It isn't only Bemelle and I. She is with us in more than simply presence. The guy's voice, as cold as the monster's grasp, it ends in my train of thought.
We lost the lantern I threw. A Nix grabbed it after the light went out.
Margaret makes a noise. I glance over, wondering whether she's upset, but there's a small smile on her face instead.
It's better than them taking anything else.
A nervous laugh bubbles up out of me, and just as quickly stops. Bemelle chuckles in response, and our collective tension eases up, the adrenaline draining from our bodies.
We need to keep walking.
The guide starts down the bridge again, and we join him. I try to clamp down on the relief, the ease that wants to flood into my head. It's not over. The Prowler is gone, but so is Bemelle's lantern.
You can stay near me, Bemelle, since your lantern is lost.
I appreciate it.
Margaret goes on ahead of us. Bemelle stays by my side as I keep at the end of line. The breath of release for Margaret and Bemelle is quickly swallowed by a somber atmosphere in the Sinnlos as well, replaced by the gravity of a near-death experience. Never mind celebrating his survival. Something like that shouldn't have happened in the first place. The memory of the Prowlers reaching out towards us appears each time I close my eyes.
Why does it look like something's dripping down their faces?
Prowlers are on Margaret's mind too, looking at her plain expression. It's as though the moment of relief never existed at all.
I'm not sure.
Me neither. Something's wrong with them, though. They live in water. Air shouldn't be good for the things, but they want to drown humans so much they're willing to drag themselves around on land? It's not right.
Of course it isn't. They are monsters. They likely do not understand even the concept of right and wrong.
Well, I don't disagree that there's something very wrong about them. I truly hope that's the last we'll see of the Prowlers.
Something comes to her mind, causing Margaret to end her part of the conversation early.
Since you two have to share a light, wouldn't it be safer to be in the middle?
Margaret stops and waits for Bemelle and I to reach her position.
That way, you'll catch the edges of my light and the guides. and it won't be so dangerous if Bemelle loses his position momentarily.
That's a very kind offer, Margaret.
Bemelle's surprise is so apparent that I want to cover his face with my hands to stop him from insulting her. She merely smirks. I think Margaret may be surprised with herself too. Bemelle returns to his usual surety.
As thoughtful as it is, I, at least, am fine with bringing up the rear. I'm used to keeping watch for monsters, and since there are two of us, I can pay attention to the back while Kikka focuses ahead. It's not my light, though, so I shouldn't be the one to decide what she should do with it.
Margaret and Bemelle turn to look at me in unison. Seems like it's my decision. Neither of them are wrong. As for me, my goal was to protect everyone. I can't very well do that with Margaret following behind us. Being stuck in the middle of the group could also be very dangerous, depending on what circumstances to come across. Getting pincered by the enemy would be almost sure death, no matter how we experienced Bemelle and I are. I just don't know what to expect from this bridge, and that makes things so much more difficult. Oh shoot, wait, it's timed? Come on, stop timing me with these things! I like to move up, thank you. Okay, fine, I can move up. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go back to this decision in the next video because I think this is a good time for us to leave it here. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to leave a like, comment what you think. Be sure to share this video with your friends, and be sure to subscribe, click the bell so you don't miss a single notification. I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye.
You say you wanna try, but you never do.